Well, we just heard the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office was able to locate the suspect's truck involved with this morning's deadly traffic stop. They were able to locate it right behind me here. In fact, they were just able to tow it away only a few minutes ago. I'm Lena Howland in Stockton, where two families are grieving today after two teenagers were shot and killed in the middle of the night on Sunday as they were just riding their bikes down the middle of this road. They say they believe somebody opened fire on a group of people right behind us here as they were holding a vigil mourning the loss of somebody that was killed in this same exact spot Wednesday night. Well, in a show of support for Corporal Singh, the suspect Gustavo Arriaga was taken here wearing the fallen officer's own set of handcuffs. Now, we're told that the suspect was taken here safely and alive about 4 hours ago. They get just 30 minutes each day to come feed their animals until those mandatory evacuation orders are lifted. It's been 2 days since more than a dozen shots were fired inside of this busy nightclub over the weekend. And yet we're still not getting any answers from police on who was responsible for this shooting. We're taking a closer look at why more dairy farmers are choosing to leave the business now than ever before here in Stanislaus County. It's now been almost 2 months since more than 300 homeless people moved into this outside emergency shelter here underneath the 9th Street Bridge. And the city says so far it's working. There were quite a few things on this tour that people were not allowed to take photos of. So if you want to see what's actually inside of this building, you got to come see for yourself. A mother overcome with grief one day after she learned her 14-year-old son, a fishing fanatic and sports lover, would never be coming home.
I want to know why. They're kids. How can you take the life of two kids?
14-year-old Nicholas Ciolet was with his longtime friend, 15-year-old Advon Vang, who was visiting from Sacramento for his grandfather's funeral.
We just felt like he still was going to come home, that he was going to show up on his bike. I'm just saying, I stayed out late, just yell at me. And that didn't happen.
Stockton police say the two boys were shot and killed just after midnight on Sunday near Mountabon Avenue and Hammer Lane. The family tells me the two boys were just riding their bikes down the middle of this road.
Someone probably saw something, and we're asking them to say something because we have two families that are grieving the loss of their family members, and they're asking us for answers, and we need the answers.
Police say they don't have any suspects or motives at this time.
And that's why we're begging for the public to come forward. Anything they've seen or heard that night, just come forward, please. We're begging you. We just want justice for him and his friend. That's it.
As chocolate bars and fast food, a few of Nick's favorite things, pile up at his roadside memorial, extended family members are giving a heartbreaking plea to the person responsible.
Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Search yourself. What if it would have happened to someone you cared about? Put yourself in that position. Get the courage to call the number and tell someone I did it so that the family can get some type of closure and peace with this.
In Stockton, Lena Howland, ABC 10 News. David Doolittle couldn't wait to get back home to thank those responsible for helping to protect his home. He's even feeding them a meal.
Look at him come after the alfalfa.
I'm feeding my sheep for the first time. Finally, this morning I got a permit from the agricultural department.
His home, his 15 sheep, and a couple of chickens spared from the campfire's unforgiving path.
Our sheep are twofold. They turned fire hazard into protein. All that fire hazard was gone.
Sadly, fire is something Doolittle has become all too familiar with. He lost his home in the Humboldt fire 10 years ago.
We kept a defendable space, and that's what saved us this time, because that fire came right up against where them sheep have eaten all the fire hazard.
The Butte County Agricultural Office granting access to commercial livestock owners only, meaning anxious families hoping to see their personal animals that they couldn't get out in time were turned away.
Well, I got chickens and we have a donkey, but I think they might have got the donkey out. But, we have neighbors that have some small animals and stuff like that. We were just going to check on all that stuff and get out, make sure everything was okay, fed, watered, and then leave.
Homeowners with granted permission have been told they get just 30 minutes each day to come feed their animals until those mandatory evacuation orders are lifted. In Oroville, Lena Howland, ABC 10 News.
Yeah, here we go.
This is 11-year-old Tommy Laredo. We first met him 2 years ago, as his family was working through the fundraising process to bring a playground for all to Modesto.
I'm gonna take this.
But in order to bring a playground like this to town, it's going to cost upwards of $2.5 million. As Tommy's team hit a major fundraising milestone thanks to a recent donation from the city of Modesto, reaching their halfway mark with more than $1.2 million, Tommy and his mom Rachel took us back to the most magical place that inspired this goal.
So it was really invigorating for our team to see that milestone be hit, and it just kind of reignited, the passion of why we're doing this.
Rachel came up with this idea after visiting the Magical Bridge Playground all the way out in Palo Alto 4 years ago.
How do we bring something as wonderful as this to our community to share with the families that would benefit from an inclusive playground?
She hit the ground running, contacting Modesto's city and county leaders to develop a plan for what would later be called the Awesome Spot Playground, and started fundraising efforts right away.
So an inclusive playground allows children and adults of all abilities to play together. Children who use wheelchairs or walkers are oftentimes left on the sidelines of typical playgrounds.
While the city says they won't be able to break ground until it is fully funded, this is what it's going to look like.
Where everyone can play. Every time I come here and see all the people, I can know that there's a lot of other kids in wheelchairs like me.
Complete with wide ramps all over, smooth surfaces, accessible swings, and a slide mountain, just to name a few things.
We are on top of Slide Mountain,
hoping to make this dream a reality in Modesto by spring of 2020.
This is awesome.
In Palo Alto, Lena Howland, ABC 10 News.